Here we go. Welcome to Smack Talk with Alex, Volk and Aussie. UFC 315 coming up. And Volk, the last time we spoke was pre your fight, and we said, and a lot of people in the room said, this was the most locked in, the best shape you've ever been, and for the most part, you called your shot. You said you were going to go out there, you were that confident in the win, and you did it. You're the new featherweight champ. How do you feel?
Oh, mate, it feels great. You know what I mean? All that hard work. Big break, you know, we talk about why this was going to be one of the biggest fights of my career, or it is, you know. Just everything that went into it, and then to get the job done, you know, the message I wanted to, you know, share to the world, was able to do that and, you know, accomplish that, and yeah, it's great feeling, you know. I mean, it's funny because it's just back to normal, you know. I get over it straight away, you know, but at the same time, I'm always reminded of, you know, how much it meant to not only, you know, me, but to everyone else. You know, every time I'm chatting to someone, they're like, oh, man, like, obviously it was an insane fight. They're like, man, I was on the edge of my seat, you know, and they're just like full getting into it and just saying, man, it's so good to see you get the win. Like, that means so much to me because I don't even know where the belt is, you know what I mean? It's just back under a cabinet somewhere or something, you know. I don't really care about that, but all that stuff means so much more to me.
On the day of the fight, let's talk about that, because there was so much at stake for you, proving all these doubters wrong, and we saw it like in the lead up. There was emotion there with people had written you off. Mm-hmm. When you're going up there and getting ready to get in that fight, talk us through the day of, and especially just walking into the octagon, your feelings and emotions during that.
Man, I'm lucky enough where I could still just focus on the job I need to do. You know, you're still going to have things pop up in your head and be like, oh, you know, there's going to be doubts always going in. That's sort of normal for every fight. There's maybe more of reasons to have doubts, right? Like coming off the 2 losses, coming back, and then, you know, all these people throwing these stats, you know, you just got to, I'm not listening to that. I've got a job to do and focus on that. And I'm quite good at doing that. So, so as I was walking out, wasn't many nerves, just I've got a job to do and let's go out there and do it. So I think a lot of people in that position probably would be a lot more nervous. I don't think I got nervous, you know what I mean? Like I felt a little bit in there where you're like, all right, let's be careful. But other than that, I was able to, you know, not really worry about that, just focus on the job I needed to do before I went in there.
When you were getting gelled up by the cut man on the way in, you kept looking up to the left as you were walking in. Can we finally get an answer to what you were actually looking at?
I don't even know. Like, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you even if I didn't get punched in the head, probably, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't even know. Maybe I was just looking up, looking at the crowd. Maybe I've seen some flags and things like that, so, or people in the crowd. I can't remember, because I do remember seeing some, you know, maybe some Macedonian flags and Australian flags and things like that. So it could have been something like that. But that reminds me, I don't know if you've seen, there's the video going out where someone's asking me a question, and it's got the camera on the person asking the question. It's at the press conference. And then the people behind him had a lady pick the guy's nose or something, and then, oh no, he picks his nose and puts it in his wife's mouth or something like that, and like maybe or something like that. Maybe I've seen someone doing something crazy like that. I can't remember, but
in the fight itself, you came out like red rag to a bull, and it looked like you sort of stunned Lopez a little bit in that first round. Was that the intention the whole time, to get in there and just spark him right away?
Well, you know, it was still strategic in how I did that, right? Like, it was always going to be knowing that he's going to bring the firefight. Like, and when I say that, I'm going to turn him, be in a position where he can't really strike, but he's going to try and keep pressing. And then if he wants to keep doing that, I'm going to make him pay. But I know when I make him pay, I need to really commit and be in there and stay tidy, because something's coming back. That's how he fights. So as soon as you throw something, another 10 things are coming back at you with, you know, killer intentions, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how he is. But I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't able to pull the trigger as much. He should have done this. He was too hesitant. You know, that's what they're trying to say with him. But they don't realise that was all a part of our game plan. Everything that we did, we made that hard for him. And it was hard the whole way through the fight. Even in the 5th round, I was even more aggressive with turning him, and it worked well. So I won't get too technical with that, but at the same time, it was always going to be, as I'm doing those things, and if he wants to get into that type of range, make him pay. You know what I mean? I can't be on the back foot and just stay on the exits and worry so much about getting tagged. You know, I have to commit and make him pay, and you know, I have to bite down on my mouthpiece and just give it something, even though I know something's going to come back. But it was that type of fight which made it fun. You know, he obviously landed some. I was nice and sore for a good week or two. But yeah, that's a fight game.
When it went to decision, it looked like a majority of people had you, easily winning the fight. It would have been a shock. If it went to Lopez, it would have been an absolute shock. But you looked kind of nervous when it was you were waiting there. Like it wasn't the usual, I've got this one high five in the corner. You look like, and I don't know whether you just don't trust the judges, but you looked a little bit nervous. Or was that just the emotion?
No, you're right. You're right. Like it's not something I've actually even really talked about. It was because I usually just go off what my corner and that are saying. But yeah, so I was a little bit nervous, even though like my corner told me after, no, you've got this. And I'm like, all right, I've got this. But I was still that little bit nervous, as you said. But then I heard. I noticed it was unanimous, like as in, usually they go 48-47, Alex, and then I know it's split. But it was just 48-47. Judge had this and goes to the next one. I'm like, all right, unanimous. I'm pretty sure that's me. But then he goes 49-46. That's when I knew. That's when you see me like, yes. Like, all right, I know he didn't win 4 rounds. So, that's like 100%. Like you could maybe give him 2 or like a... if you're lucky, there's no way you could give him 3, but that's where you just never know, I guess. But that's why I was maybe that little bit nervous. Till I heard 49-46, I'm like, that's me. But yeah, you're right. I was that little bit more nervous than usual.
Where on an emotional scale, where does this rank in all your wins across your career?
It has to go all the way. I mean, you're coming off the losses, right? People are going to say losing the belt and all that. I don't know. I don't think so. Like that was just a timing sort of thing. I look at that, you know what I mean? That's why I was able to at least look past that. A lot of people are like coming off 2K losses. How's he going to do this? I had to tell myself, I was like, no. I took a short notice fight, quick turnaround. That's what it was. You know what I mean? I told myself that. So it was easy for me to move past them. Where this one was like so much more come into it. You know what I mean? And it is at that time of your career is like how many more left you got, you know what I mean? So there's so much more questions that needed to be answered and then even still need to be answered. It's just so much more went into that fight and still after. So it's crazy. So definitely up there with, that's what I mean by it's the biggest fight. There was so much at stake. Yeah. And when it comes to the story, it's definitely the biggest part of my story, I believe.
You fighters are experts at putting on this big, confident, bravado front. Now that you've done the fight and you've won, can you be honest if there was ever a time where you were sitting there going, God damn, I am 36. I am coming off a couple of. Was there ever a time where a little bit of doubt crept in?
Of course, you're gonna have voices in your head, but I've always been pretty good at just not letting them be too loud. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be things there. And they're going to be in the room with you, but, you can sit there and make a bit of noise back there, whatever. I don't care. Like, I just won't
sounding very
too much.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah, it does sound a bit like that. I think, I guess we're fighters, right? It wouldn't surprise you. But you get what I mean? Like, you're going to have doubts and things like that that are going to have voices, probably not the right word, but you're going to have doubts that are going to sort of creep in and they're going to be there. And it's hard because I won't let myself speak it because I don't want to bring it to life. But I think everyone is going to always have these doubts. I'm just pretty good at being like, sticking my finger at it and just being like, you just stay quiet over there.
We can do that here. We can do that here. When was the point, like obviously the raw emotion of, like I can't even imagine, I don't think any mere mortals can imagine what that feeling is like to do. There's very few people in history that are able to feel that feeling, and you have. But when does it really sink in? Because we know how much this meant to you. Was it with, you're sitting back there with your beautiful wife? Is it, when was the time where you sat there and you're like, I did it?
You feel it straight away, and the reason why I felt it straight away was purely because of the relief in the fact that, I just had that fight, right? And then, overcoming all these things, and then obviously it being like, still a competitive fight and getting through, all the adversities you're talking about, leading into the fight. Like I said, you're going to have these doubts, all these things creeping in. Then to get through it and then get your hands, you're like, whoa, like, then all of a sudden it hits you like, yes, like how good's this? Like, crazy hit, and then all of a sudden it just goes away. It's hard to explain. And then I get that like it's a relief from the fight itself, not me being champion or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's like I do not care about any of that. I just got I get a whole heap of emotion and like very happy and a relief that the fact that fight's over, and I was able to accomplish what I wanted. Then as I go there, I walk out, and then all of a sudden, I just forget about it. Well, at that point, I'm just like, I'm in pain, so I'm just focused on the pain. You're getting the needles and stitches all through your head and all that, and I'm just like, far out. So it's hard for me to properly enjoy that. But I couldn't really enjoy it till I got home. And as I said, share that with everyone. That means so much more to me. So when you go on there and chatting to people back home and, just seeing the smiles on their faces and like even just seeing how much it meant to everyone else as well. So it was weird because I felt like, everyone's always been pretty emotionally connected to my fights. I just feel like everyone was so much more emotionally connected this time.
Yeah.
And I think it was because there was many more questions and so much more riding on this. Usually your supporters, have probably got your back. There might be little doubts, but there would have been a lot more doubts this time. It's like, I don't know if he can do it. I'm going to back him up, but I don't know if he can do it. So it was, I don't know. I just felt like everyone was so much more emotionally connected with this one. And it was big. It was like me winning for everybody, and everyone seeing that and feeling that was awesome. Because you've seen, like I said, everyone I talked to was just like, finally, the world feels right again. They're saying stuff like that, so it's, again, I don't know. It's just, which is so it's special to me, but it's hard to sort of fully explain.
Well, some of your team weren't too happy because you got pieced up a bit and you had to get the stitches because you only hit the club like about 4 a.m. and some of your people, videographer, weren't too happy that you had to go all that way.
It was like, we've got to show face, obviously everyone was there to see us. So I had to go there and show my face, even though I was all busted up with stitches. Oh, mate, I was in pain. I'll tell you what. I was limping in there, and I was just like, all right, I'll go show face and then get me out of here. But you could imagine, you go through a fight like that, you get the adrenaline dump, you get in like stitches and just needles, and then you're like in pain anyway. Your leg stuff, think you got a broken hand, and just stuff like that, and you're just like, all right, I'll go do this. It was like, I'm just completely over it by that time. It's like, let me go to bed. So it's weird. Everyone's like, oh, man, you go and celebrate and all that. But trust me, if you ever fight, it's sometimes the last thing you're even thinking about.
You've gone from, like, if we go back to your Max Holloway fight, you could be one of the first people in professional sports to go from, at that point, you were one of the most disliked fighters to now, you are, in my opinion, I think a lot of people would say this, the face of the UFC currently and the most popular fighter in the UFC. Like, you look at the people reacting to your fight, it was Ronaldo, Chuck Norris, you just said. Right? Chuck Norris hasn't tweeted something in 20 years.
Yeah,
like, this is insane. We have a look at this, like, to get Ronaldo, who is arguably the king of sport itself, saying the champ is back, from where you came from to where you are now.
Yeah.
It is.
How do you process that? Insane. It is. It's crazy. It's weird because you see that and you're like, oh, what? But then then I just forget about it. It's like me being champion. It's like, oh, well, you're a world champion, and then I just completely forget about it. I'm just me again. So it's cool to see, and you're right though, because there was times in my career where, like you said, I would have been like one of the most hated fighters, and which is hard for me. You could imagine, like always been a bit of a people pleaser. Like, you know what I mean? I've never want to offend anybody, and like, not used to people hating me because I'm not ever trying to hurt anyone's feelings or be offensive. That's not the way I am. So to have everyone hating me, I just didn't know why. Like, it was tough. But now it's just for it to do a complete 180 and be literally, the support I have is incredible. Yes. It is insane. It really is. And as I said, that's why these people don't even know me. When I just told you about the emotional connection people have to me, these are people that don't even know me I'm talking about as well. Obviously, you have the people that share the time and their blood, sweat and tears in the gym and whatnot in life. But then you've got people that are just so emotionally connected with who I am. Maybe they find me relatable and they just like the person I am. I don't know what it is, but and just seeing me go through the process, it's just they feel a part of it. And it's great. And I love that. And that's what I mean by that means so much more to me. All of that and bringing the belt back or winning it for all them means so much more than me bringing it back for myself. It's just, I do not care about it.
This is far too much serious chat that we're going through here. So let's just break it down a little bit. We're going to get some fight previews during as well. Let's start off with UFC 315, Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva.
I'm going to go with Alexa Grasso just because of what she's shown, even in the last few fights with Valentina Shevchenko. She's, like, Valentina's, one of the GOATs, mate. You know what I mean? She is that good, so well-rounded. And for Alexa Grasso to even have a win over her and then have very close fights with her, it just shows you how good she is. So I'm going to have to just take that. Like, I just haven't seen enough for me to go against her. So I'm going to go with Alexa Grasso because her ground game is legit. I know she does a lot of training, even with Diego Lopez and all that. I still think Alexa Grasso maybe does a bit better everywhere.
It actually stacks up to be a pretty good card as we go through
very
this one.
competitive fights.
I was going to congratulate you off the top because have you read the local Illawarra Mercury, what they've been saying?
No, what is it?
Well, they've built a giant statue for you in the middle of the city. Do you like the look of it? I think it's a dead ringer.
What is it? Like, have you seen the, like, I swear that's was it a, oh no, Beckham. Did you see the one with Beckham where they did that?
Your close personal friend Ronaldo had one as well.
Yeah, but was it the prank?
It was a terrible one.
It was a prank
that's
one,
real.
right?
That's real.
No, it's
That's going up. We got the render. I had to contact the newspaper to get that render.
But you're trying to get a reaction. Yeah, Ronaldo did that one too. So Beckham, I remember Beckham did one. Ronaldo did one as well. They did the fake statue thing.
Yeah.
Is this a fake statue of me?
No, that's real. So I got that. The artists were sending this to the artist. He's back there, man. You've insulted him now. I think that looks just. What's different?
At least I've insulted him before he's done it.
What's different to you in that fight? That's you.
I don't have that many wrinkles, do I? I mean, I am getting older. I get it, but I mean, in my ears. I mean, that's well, what did you? This is AI.
But that is
right?
real. That is the real statue. I'm not even joking.
He's taking the piss, sure.
No. That is the real statue. Oh, dude, you've just offended the artist.
Well, he's got to change it. Sorry. No, I mean, are you being serious or
I'm
what?
being serious. This was meant to be the big announcement.
No, you're taking the piss. Oh, man, I was going to say, I don't care. I'm going to offend him so he changes it.
That was ChatGPT on the car on the way in.
What did you do, though? What did you ChatGPT?
I said, give me a statue of the greatest featherweight of all time, and that's what it gave up. So I'm not sure if that's you or not. It might be a mix.
Sure, like I was thinking, did you try and say
yeah, I gave it a couple
one?
I said make him uglier.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy what
it's
you can do
getting
with
bad.
that.
What about Jose Aldo taking on Aiemann Zahabi? This is another really tough one to pick.
I mean, they're all going to be pretty tough. But I will go with Aldo. So Aldo's going to be hard to bet. I think he's still competitive with anyone. The only thing that can let him down is he can be quite hesitant. He sits there and he waits and he waits. If the opportunities aren't there, sometimes he can let fights get away from him or let rounds get away from him. So only 3 rounds, can that happen for the first 2 and then it's too late by the time he actually does something? So that's tricky, but I'm going to go with Aldo. I still think he's a dangerous fighter. I still think he's very explosive. I still think he's got so many great tools. Hopefully he's just a little bit more aggressive because I think he's got the skills to back up that aggressiveness and get an easier win if that was the case. I just don't know, but I will go. Another decision. Sorry, this is going to be a decision, I think, for Aldo.
Legend of the sport. He's certainly been a fan favourite in that one. What about this one? This one could be a fight of the night potentially. Valentina Shevchenko taking on Manon Fiorot. How do you see that one playing out?
I have to look. I know Valentina Shevchenko. There's going to be a bias. You know what I mean? Everyone knows that I have a bias all the time with people I know, but she's a great. She's one of the best ever to do it. So you can't go against Valentina Shevchenko up against a tough opponent. But I'm going to have to go Valentina Shevchenko. You've seen how well-rounded she can be. She can take it to the ground and win there. She can win and outpoint you on the outside. She can even get head kick knockouts, as we've seen. So I'm going to have to go with Valentina Shevchenko. I will. Man, I've said decision with all of them. I think I will go a decision again because, again, this is another tough fight. Man, so many well-matched fights here.
Volk, the thing that has taken over, it hasn't just taken over social media, it has taken over the world.
It has.
And it's right in your wheelhouse because I think we started this with the Danny DeVito chat, but we're going to finish it here. 100 men versus 1 gorilla.
You might be onto this. We started that. Well, what did we do? The DeVitos, how many would it take?
You broke that thing down more than professional fight analysis.
That was me and John Jones against Danny DeVitos, right?
Against like 20 Danny DeVitos.
No, well, I said more than 20.
You wanted more DeVito.
Like I said, it could be unlimited. No, not unlimited, because that's not going to work when we start breaking down this. So, all right, yeah. So
you break it down. 100 men versus 1 gorilla.
So what do you mean by break it down? Are we going to give our
We're going to do a draft after this.
After the
top
breakdown.
5 people to take down
the
gorilla.
I'm going to give you a breakdown, so that might help you with your choices.
Yeah.
We need people taking out legs, maybe getting behind, just make it harder for the gorilla to move. So it's a tricky one. As I said with the Danny DeVitos, we can't all attack it at once, right? So there's only going to be 10 of us that can maybe get hands-on.
You ain't getting a gorilla in a rear naked choke if that's what you
It'll
think.
bite your arm off.
Yeah.
So that ain't happening. But we could, I don't think people understand how strong they are. So there's going to be a lot of...
Deadlift 1,000 kilos if you were to put them in a deadlift.
They can do a ton.
Yeah, they can do a ton.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Like, they would just go rip the limbs straight off. I mean, I did see Eddie Hall say that he reckons him in his prime could take one on. Come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like Eddie Hall, like, but no, that's just not how it works. I probably could get an Eddie Hall in this list. I mean, you're going to need a couple of Eddie Halls, I think. I think that'd be great. Or Thors, you know, big, strong guys
the
like
one
that.
for Game of Thrones.
Weighing that much as well. You know what I mean? He probably weighs a ton, so there you go. That's probably... that was like, I'll chuck myself in there, I'm telling you.
Hey, don't be giving it... Okay, let's jump right to the draft then. Let's jump right to the draft because you're clearly you're throwing names out.
People are going to be
ready to go. Okay.
I can explain it. First pick. I'm actually going to go with this one. I'm going to go John Jones. I took yours, did I?
Took my pick.
I took your pick, all right. Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Why would you pick? I picked him. You can say why you would want him.
I'm picking him because my entire method with the gorilla is to take out its eyes first. And no one pokes eyes better than John Jones. I don't care how good of a fighter you are. That dude is going for the eyes immediately as you get out there. That's why I'm taking
you know what I mean? A couple of the dirty tricks is allowed, and we need in this, this little war that we're having. So it's exactly right, you know what I mean? But you got to be honest with his fight IQ. Still great wrestling, strategic. You know, he can be quite defensive. I mean, not like defensive is going to work with a gorilla, but a few of them. You know, we're talking a few of them. You could strategize. You're definitely going to need someone there.
I'm taking Eddie Hall as a second pick, mainly because we just need some brute force. If it's getting a bit weak, it's run out of cardio, we need something to just bang.
Like I said,
on top of it. Strength in general. That's
you
what I'm
need
taking.
weight, you need strength, and we're talking the world's strongest men. So yeah, I am going to put him in the list.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, you've got John Jones that can, throw a bit of the fight IQ in there as well.
We're already winning with these two.
I mean, I think you're doing pretty good with these two. I mean, I want to chuck myself in there. I feel like you know what I mean. I'm going to chuck myself in there because think about it. You got all these big dudes in there, and we're going to need a few of them. I guarantee you, they're drawing all the attention to the gorilla. Then you're going to need someone around the ankles, around, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing a couple of things. And then I'm very, pound for pound, one of the strongest, you know what I mean? Like, when it talks for strength, pound for pound, I know I'm small, but I can carry my weight, you know what I mean? And then the fight IQ and stuff like that, I think I can definitely play a big part in this. So I'm going to throw myself in there.
I'm going my mate Leon Deegan. He's an Irish dude. He could be the only person on planet Earth who actually thinks they could defeat the gorilla one-on-one. So what we're using him for is we're pushing him straight up the front. He's going to throw hands with it to begin with and just tire it out. Irish dude, he knows how to scrap. He's going to get in there, just piece it up. It's going to think from then on it's easy.
You need someone who will literally take on the gorilla. I imagine it's like, we've got 100 of them. There might be 100 of them that don't even try. And next minute he's just picking off one at a time because there's no strategy involved.
Yeah.
You get someone that will actually go in and then the fight IQs work around him, he can be the bait, right? He might wear him out enough or draw enough attention. We need him to draw attention so I can go at the ankle bite, all that stuff, you know what I mean? You've got Joe's poking the eyes, you know what I mean? Now, I think we're on the money with this.
Who's the last pick? Because now someone's got to finish it off.
As soon as you touch it, I'm like, bang, you're on the money with that. I was very, very impressed with that pick.
You get the last pick.
Because we need one of those. Now we need just power. Power to actually capitalise on him drawing attention there.
Aspinall.
An Aspinall. You know what I mean? I mean, even a Thor.
The one from Game of Thrones.
One from Game of Thrones. Just a big Thor. Because he's world's strongest.
Oh, he's an actual dude. I forgot that.
Yeah,
Magnuson.
Well, like
something.
Eddie Hall and him were breaking each other's records. He's 7 foot tall, absolute monster who's actually very, very strong.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I usually would go more to the fighters, but I mean we don't really care about fighting so much. We do need some muscle power just to grab a hold. I mean, if it was just one, it's not good enough. You need fight IQ and all that, and they're not cutting it. But now we just need guys just holding on, and then we've already got a couple of fighters that can strategically, capitalise on them being held down. But you've got your Eddie Halls and your Thors that are going to do the damage when Deegan's getting his head punched in. And then you've got me, ankle biter, and John Jones poking the eyes. That's the team right there.
What about the main event? Let's jump over to that one.
Okay,
UFC 315, there will be no
animal
alligators.
fights.
There will be no big red kangaroos, but there will be a Della Madellena. How do you think he's going to go against Belal?
I think he's going to do good. I think stylistically, this is a fight he can definitely win. Belal's great. Like, you know, everyone loves to hate him, including myself. You know
why
what I
is
mean?
he so hated?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I've tried. I feel bad because I feel like he's been hard done by.
Yeah.
But then he does stuff, and then I've tried. I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I get along with everybody, and I just can't. And then we seem to clash. You know, I'll tell you the story where it started. May as well get into that. So I end up doing a watch party for a UFC event, and I think so he was doing one at the same time for the same card, right? No, he was in America, and then someone that was looking after him, like through UFC, messaged me to link up to do a FaceTime, but I was busy barbecuing because we had the barbecue going. I didn't see it. And because I didn't answer the call, or like, I didn't see the message or nothing, like, so I didn't see it and then he's done something. I didn't see this by the time. But then I eventually see the message. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that now. Yeah, no worries. So I end up going FaceTiming. And then he ends up saying to me, he's like, hey, what's up? He goes, oh, don't worry about my last tweet, man. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I had no idea what he was talking about. And he's like, oh, no, never mind, don't worry. And he realised I had no idea what he was talking about. And then I end up going through and it's like, because I didn't answer the call, he ended up tweeting something like, oh, you bum, or something anyway, Max Holloway kicked your ass anyway. And I just like full hating because I missed his call.
Belal's a toxic ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm like, man, like how, like who does that? Like, I mean, like I accidentally missed your call, like settle down. Like I remember just sitting there being like, are you seriously that butthurt that I missed the call? Like, so like, and then I like tried to not really care about that. Was for me, I was just like, wow. I'm like, all right, it was just who really cares? And then I just seen him hating because of the Islam fight. I'm like, oh, why is he carrying on like this? You know what I mean?
You brushed him.
Yeah, and then so that's sort of all right. Now we're just all right. I'm not going to bother with him. You know, usually that's how it was. And then I end up doing that. Someone asked me, I go, I mean, I reckon I would, because would you do the back? I would, and I reckon I could stylistically give Belal a hard time. Like, I mean, and what pisses me off is like, wait. You admit that Islam does very good against you. He couldn't do that stuff. I mean, he's better at you at that world.
Yeah.
And why are you acting so surprised? You know what I mean? Like, why? You can see where I'm going with this. You know, obviously there's a weight thing, but I mean, it obviously didn't matter then. I don't think it's going to matter with you. I don't expect anyone to be able to out-wrestle me for 5 rounds. I'm going to be the whole time. And I don't think you've got the knockout power to do any damage. And I think I'll piece you up on the feet. So that's sort of where I was going with it. He didn't like it and he got real butthurt and said that he would smash my face or something like that. Or I couldn't remember. And I just said, well, say that in my face and see what happens. But I mean, I'm willing to forgive as well, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, he's fighting my boy, so that can wait. So Jack Della Madellena, great boxing, and he's great with the scrambles. And you know Belal's going to try and take him down. He's going to want to grab a hold of him. He might get a takedown, but I mean, Jack's ability to scramble back to his feet is pretty good, and he's very good at body mechanics and that awareness. Like, it's not like he knows all these flashy moves. He just understands mechanics and will just, even if he's in a position he's never been before, you know, he can problem himself and find his own way. And that's something that I've always been able to do. And that's why I felt like I was a hard matchup for your Dagestani wrestlers like your Islam. I've always thought that because whatever position you put me in, I'm going to figure it out. Jack's pretty similar. So I think he can go out there and his boxing is eventually going to take control. I think early he might not be able to start landing, but then later rounds, I think his boxing is going to start to work for him. I'm sure he's going to be fit enough. Belal's obviously got cardio, but I think his combos start to land, body shots and everything starts to come together from the second, maybe third round onwards, which a lot of people would have thought maybe them later rounds are going to favour Belal more. I don't know. I just think Jack starts to really start finding his shots now. And you're going to see 2 belts back here in Australia, I believe. So that's pretty cool, man. That's massive.
When he wins, what method are you taking?
I think he can get the finish. Like, he can get the finish straight away. I think they're going to be tough first rounds, but I think he starts to hurt Belal, starts to do some damage, body rips, things like that. I think, I think it's going to be finished. Maybe in the later rounds. I think he could get the finish.
What's your perfect run from here? Now, we know you can't release everything that you got in the works, but you give us a hint of what we're going to see from you over the next sort of year, maybe even more.
Yeah, well, obviously I said I wanted to get straight back in there and fight straight away, get 3 fights this year. It makes it a bit harder. Like, I didn't expect it to be a war that we did and have a couple of nigglies and a couple of things that I need to look after. But yeah, so I'm definitely want to get another one in this year. There's obviously a couple of guys. The one that makes the most sense would obviously have to be Mosvar. Like, his name's always going to pop up because he's undefeated. He's probably the most clear. You never fought him. He hasn't fought for the title yet and stuff like that. You do have your years, name getting brought up with people as well. Obviously, he called for it. I'm in a position where I like Yair, so I'm not going to be the one to turn that down. But what do I think makes the most sense? It's probably Mosvar. And I mean, to take that 0, I want to take a 0, right?
That sounds like a movie as well. You've
What's
got
that?
this like Russian undefeated fighter versus the crowd favorite. Like that is a movie script.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Undefeated too. Again, younger, undefeated, you know what I mean? Russian dude. Like, I think it's...
He just needs a scar down the face.
Yeah, so I'll give him one during the fight. So it's yeah. and then we'll use the photo after the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think that just for the legacy as well, getting to someone that's undefeated. It would have been great to take the 0 off Topuria. Obviously, I didn't get to do that last year, and now he's moved up. If we,
is there a chance that you would ever move up?
Well, I mean,
to
there's obviously a chance where that can potentially happen, but it can't be right now. Obviously, I've got to defend, and he's still waiting to do this lightweight thing.
Volk, you came in here last time, you called your shot. You told us you were bringing the belt back, even when everyone else, they said, no chance, Lopez is too big, he's too strong. You proved him wrong. You are the champ again. Thank you very much for doing what you do. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Smack Talk. You can follow Volk, you can follow everyone on the feed in the lead up to UFC 315. Thanks for tuning in.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.